UFL is here, the open beta, a game that boasts the potential to take down the FC franchise. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive. I'll be showing you guys everything that this game has to offer to see if it really can be the FC killer. Let's get into it. First and foremost, when you open up this game, the thing that really catches your eye is just how clean the menus look. I think the game aesthetically is beautiful. In terms of playing games, you have ranked. That is basically just your one online option. It is online multiplayer. This is you using your own team facing another person's team online. Your second option is local. This is where you and a friend can play together, and you've got one of 6 teams that you can choose between as defaults, or you can scroll along to My Clubs and use your customized team, the one that you have put together in the very Ultimate Team-esque mode. As you ready up, you get through to the kit selection screen. Honestly, I think it looks very, very clean, very clear what the kits look like in game. I think aesthetically, once again, absolutely fantastic. And for those of you that do like your tactics and setting up your team, you can customize your team here with your player selection. You can choose the formation you wish to use. You've also got a tactics section, very, very parallel with FC. And then you've got the duty section, which is your player instructions. Again, the sort of things that you can add on the players is very, very parallel with what you'll be familiar with in FC. Roles is just who's taking your corners, free kicks, etc. Next section is My Club. So if we look at the squad section here, this is your own customized team. This is your Ultimate Team-esque mode. Now, with these cards, you'll notice they've all got these different designs. This isn't actually how they come. If you click on the player and go to view skins, you've actually got different aesthetics that you can put on the players, so you can actually make the cards look how you want them to look. So if we click this guy here and we go across to this, we can give him this card design and instantly the card looks different. So cards aren't just coming with a default aesthetic. You can actually customize teams to look more to your style. For those that like your tactics, like in the local game mode, you have all the same options here, except you do actually have defensive, balanced and attacking. So FC offers 5 presets, this offers 3, but I honestly think 3 is enough, to be honest. I don't think you need any more than that. You can always change on the fly in game, and like in the local mode, you can change your formation, tactics, duties, which is your player instructions, and your roles as you desire. I do really like the way they've put the descriptions here and how they've got the little short paragraph underneath to really kind of elaborate onto what each thing does. Again, very parallel with FC, but it's always nice, especially in a new game, for that to be made really clear when you're trying to really sort of fine-tune your tactics. The next section of Club is the customization section. This is basically like your stadium section in FC. This is where you just customize your aesthetics with kits and boots, that sort of a thing. However, one thing that is really cool is you can actually customize what a person looks like specifically. So if you want this player to have his shirt tucked in or untucked, you can. If you want the fit regular or slim, you can. Now, these are minor things, but it is just cool that you can fine-tune it to that degree. In the stadium section here, this is quite literally just a section where you can choose what stadium you want to use. However, one thing I do really like, a real nice touch, is actually if we click lighting options, you can actually select what sort of time of day you actually want to be able to play in. So whether it's just day, you could just do this. If you want evening as well, you can do this. So you can actually tick what times of day you want to be able to play in, which again is just a very, very small detail, but it's something that we don't have in FC24. So another extra addition that, as small as it is, I think is really cool. So we head over to divisions, the last section in the My Club section. This is just where it shows your match history, how you've done recently, shows what rewards you got on the right-hand side from when you were playing. I'm currently in the qualification stage, as you can see at the bottom left, so I've got to play a couple more games to actually get placed into a ranked league. Interestingly, I won the game 7-2, but because the player quit, it actually gave it as a 7-0 win. So I am curious, if you're in a game where, say, it's 1-1 and the opposition quits, do you actually get that as a 1-0 victory? That'll be interesting to see as we play the game more. Next up is the transfer section on the market. Now here, this is where you can buy players to improve your team. Now, as you'll notice, there are 2 sort of forms of currency on there. You've got the CP and the RP. The RP seems to be like a reputation sort of thing to me, but it's the CP that you need to worry about in terms of actually buying a player. So currently we've got around 62 million credits. So these sort of premium players are a little bit out of our grasp. But if you want to fine-tune it, say you wanted a striker, and you wanted them to be, say, between 81 and 85 rated, you've then got this optional section here where you can hide certain clubs, but you've also got the value section here. So I've got 62.5 million, so I'm going to put 62, 500,000, done, and then that filters it to what we can afford. So you can actually filter it to see exactly who you can get for your money. It's not like on FC where you're putting in your coin balance and you're having to scroll and look. It literally puts it in the exact order because this isn't a live transfer market. This is literally preset prices for the players. So it's really easy to go, okay, I would love this Visa card. Say you're on 10 million credits. You know you need 43 million more credits to attain that player. There's no chance of his price spiking. That is something I do really like. And to that notion, when it comes to selling players, you just select a player within your team. Up the top, you can see where it says sell now. They'll generally sell, I believe, for around 50% of what they cost to buy. So when you're buying someone on this game, you have to accept if you don't want them in the future, you are going to lose 50% of what you paid for them. Or on the screen, it's worth saying, on the player info this week, you can see all of their stats. On the right-hand side, you've got their height, weight, stronger foot. All those kind of details that are good to know when you are looking at players, trying to decide who you want. A really cool feature here is this skills tab. Now, if we go on here, you'll see it's got lots of different things like fake shots, ball rolls, striker required position, one-timer. If you're unsure what anything is, just look at the small description underneath. Like, for example, one-timer improves all one-touch shots. Now, you notice most of these are level 1 low effect, but with XP that you gain in-game and through objectives, you can actually improve the effectiveness of certain things. So if you find yourself doing a lot of ball rolls, you could go to the ball roll section, improve on this, and then Ronaldo would get a lot more effective at ball rolls in-game. By default, he already has this Predator one and this Stop and Turn one really ultra effective already. He has the Sharpshooter up to level 2, so certain things come at higher levels, but it's really nice that you can tailor your players to your style, the way you tend to play. So if you're someone that likes to go for headers a lot, you can make your striker better at heading. Kind of like an Evo in a way, but one where you've got a lot more of a control over what actually gets improved. The next section within the market is items. This is where you can buy XP boosts for your team. You can buy stadiums, kits, boots, basically all of those aesthetic things outside of the skins for the cards. Skins has its own dedicated section. That is the store. Now here, you can use your CP credits to buy this season basic skin pack, which comes with one card skin with a certain level of rarity. The odds here are listed underneath the description on the pack. However, you have got these other ones that are just different skin packs, which you can buy with your LP credits. So with these, for example, we've got this one here, 500 credits. We'll hold and buy this just so you can see what it looks like. Really cool pack animations. It's got like that little fizz down the side. It's got that sort of dynamic zooming out, and you get all these different aesthetics. So all of these could be added to the positions that it says. So if you've got a centre-back, you can put any of those centre-back ones on. We open this skin here. Let's see what we get. So that's a skin for a right winger. Now you'll notice some of them are kind of the same, but I guess as the game progresses, they'll make cooler skins and more dynamic images, maybe even moving sort of images as well as we go. Next within skins is the library. This is just where you can actually filter it down and just look for specific things. If you want to only look at legendary ones, you can. If you only want to look at epic ones, you can, so on and so forth. Next up is events. Now within events, you have challenges. This is effectively your objectives tab that you would have in FC24. Here you just have to do different things in game to earn credit. So for example, here we've got successfully execute several tackles, 10 specifically. That gets you 20 million credits that you then can put towards upgrading your team. Here you've got back-to-back, win several matches in a row. Once you've won 3 games, you get 20 million credits. Lots of things like this, really easy to do, accessible to everybody, and these are going to be really good boosts to actually improve your team. So I really like that gameplay focused credit earning objectives that don't require you to use specific teams. Something that I don't like in FC24 is having to change my team to earn rewards. I love just being able to use my team and earn the rewards. So this is absolutely fantastic. Also within events is this team pass. Now in this team pass, this is kind of like your typical battle pass. So because this is a free-to-play game, this is UFL's way of monetizing the game a little bit more. So you can't expect it to be completely free of microtransactions on a free game. So this is to be expected. But this team pass can be attained with these SP credits that you actually get within the game. So I think through playing this game enough, you'd be able to buy this anyway. I don't think you would have to actually spend real money. Again, something like Call of Duty where you can earn COD points for free through free sections of the Battle Pass. If you play enough, you eventually can buy it and you don't have to spend real money. I think that's a really good addition as well. If you're in a game that has a sort of pay-to-win aspect, but you can get around that through just playing the game a lot. I'm all for that. Jumping into the gameplay, we'll keep this nice and simple. We will start with pros and then we will go to my cons. So kicking things off with the pros of the gameplay, there are lots of really good animations in this game. The three that stood out to me in particular was the ball roll, really effective skill move. I love the animation on this and I found myself doing it a lot. It's a really, really crisp addition to the game. Second is the finesse shot animation, so holding R1 whilst you shoot. They might call this something different in UFL, but it is that style of shot, a more curving, looping shot. I just loved the animation. I thought it looked really realistic and I just loved the animation. I just thought it was a really cool shot type. And thirdly is another shot type in chip shots, something that I think has been made completely redundant near enough in the FC franchise is chip shots. They're very unusable for the most part, but in UFL chip shots come off really smooth. They look awesome, and they're actually really effective as well when you were on goal. I scored a few chip shots in the few games that I did play. The second thing I really like about the gameplay in UFL is that the defending is very manual. It is not an auto-defending kind of game. You really are required to position your players yourself, cut off the passing lanes yourself, and you are rewarded for defending manually. You are not punished for switching into your defenders. So that is something I really like about this game. It adds more of a skill gap, and you are rewarded for almost your common sense of placing a defender in the way. You aren't punished for actually switching into your defenders, which is a fantastic aspect of this game. The next thing I really like in this game are the corners and free kicks. Really easy to understand, super user friendly, just the cursor for where you want the ball to be placed and then you power it up relative to how much power you think should be put on it. Very old school, but it works absolutely perfectly in game. I really like this system. My last pro isn't necessarily gameplay related, but it is post-game, and that is you get a lot of in-game currency after a game. You get really rewarded simply for playing the game. You're not required to go into something super sweaty or super competitive. You just play a game, you get a good chunk of currency, and you can put that towards improving your team. And I really like that, just simply being rewarded for playing the game. That is fantastic. As we move into the cons in terms of the gameplay, I would say the game just lacks fluidity. Certain movements feel stiff, it feels like there's certain input delays, and the ball physics in general are just off, especially with the passing. A level of inconsistency with it, and it just sometimes looks very robotic, stiff, sometimes it doesn't lock onto the player. I just think that is something that really needs to be worked on in terms of the ball physics of certain shots, generally normal powered up shots, and just all the kinds of passing in the game, to be honest. I think it really looks rigid, robotic. It just doesn't have that natural look to it that it should, and I understand that that is probably one of the hardest things to get right, is making the ball physics as realistic as possible. So we've got to give them some leniency there. It is a beta. They haven't had billions of pounds and years of doing this. They will get there, and I think when they get there, we're in for an absolutely fantastic football game. But until then, it has to be said the game does lack that fluidity, and there is an inconsistency in some of the passing. Adding on to that with kind of the same point, but also I feel like it is another con, is that there definitely is a very manual feel to the game, which does create a lot of silly, misplaced passes that you just wouldn't see in real life. However, I do think that that might just be a case of adapting from being used to playing FC and then getting used to playing UFL. I feel like if you're playing UFL every day, you wouldn't see these silly manual passes getting misplaced. So I feel like that might be a bit more of a skill issue than anything. However, it's just something I noticed. Sometimes I would press what I thought was a simple pass, it would just get completely misplaced. So that is something that I think gets kind of ruled out by getting better at the game, but I also at the same time feel like the passing should just be a little bit more assisted. My last con to do with the gameplay is actually the amount of replays that you have during the game. Now, it's fine after a goal for there to be a replay that's skippable, but after every tackle, every foul, any key moment, even online, there was a replay, and it felt like I was constantly waiting for replays to finish and to skip cutscenes. There was just too much of that. In offline modes, have all of that, make it look like a TV broadcast, but for online gameplay, it just interrupts it a lot. and I almost just found it annoying and irritating. I just wanted to get on and play the game. So I think for online modes, they need to get rid of the replays apart from after a goal, just because I think it holds up the game too much. That is going to be all from me today, guys, in terms of touching on UFL. If you have had a go at the open beta, please do give me your thoughts down below and how you think it compares to the FC franchise. If you guys want to see more videos like this from me, where we touch on new video games and betas, where I give you my thoughts and break down the games and modes, then please do let me down below, and it'll be something we can look to do more in the future. But as always, guys, if you did make it this far in the video, I really appreciate your time. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and turn your bell on. Take care, guys.